can't wait to get it started, and getting it started we will. It's going to be a fun time, and I gotta say both teams are playing out of their minds, so this is going to be one exciting series to behold. Chat, let us know, is it going to be Rise? Is it going to be Pittsburgh Knights? Who takes the victory? Well, off the rip, Identitas, he's holding back no punches, but one player's going to be in the corner. That's going to be Franchise. He picks up one. Identitas brought down Red, rolls right in front of Franchise, and he will eat him alive. Even though Fred and Insum were the only ones up for the side of Rise, Franchise doing a great job.
Patience and persistence. He allowed Identitas to fall right into his trap. He waited
la
behind
verga,
that corner.
compa.
He saw the secondary
go.
member come through. He gets the up A, and then he takes a good shot at Identitas, which causes a misroll, gives him the easy one-shot chunk, and now it's going to give Rise a good position here at the B hill to be able to lancer back across at PK going for the retake.
Es video se está trabando. Yo no lo veo trabado, papito. ¿Lo ven trabado ustedes?
Looking to fight against two, gets taken down. Kraken summons the duo pushing in. Raver will also defeat Franchise. Insum now has been spotted up. Long respawns here, so if he drops down, or excuse me, Icy, that was in that fight. Insum now on the respawn. If he gets dropped, this is going to be pretty bad for the side of Rise, and you already noticed Avexis on 2 out of 4 lives. Players have been dropping off quite a bit, and Pittsburgh Knights, that Wolfpacking really starting to work together. I do say that Rise still maintained that point lead, so it is possible that they come back, but it's not question. They are starting to get reckless, and Rise is really starting to hurt when it comes to respawns early on.
And Rise is just putting themselves back into these fights. They're trying to assert a little bit of a dominance here in this first round, but this might have to be chalked up. You might have to just take your lickings and move on. You're going to have to lick the wounds and get to the second round because PK, they're not really giving up much distance. You know the Raver's right there on the corner. He's got a member with him, so here you go. The fight's going to break out, and Monkeys is going to take some shots. Fran's going to be full red. If they can get Fran down, they can keep control over this B hill and really assert themselves in round number 1.
They're looking to do just that. So, man, Rushy's already on 1 out of 4. Are you kidding me? Pittsburgh Knights, without question. I said they are playing better than I've ever seen them play, and this is a prime example of that. I mean, after all, Rise absolutely just beat the side of UYU. And just like that, Pittsburgh Knights making Rise look easy. A very definitive first-round win to lead 1-0.
So, and you said definitive. You said it took 2 minutes and 17 seconds, which some people might think took a while for PK to get that kill, to get that round on the board. It might look like it took a little bit longer there on the scoreboard, but at the end of the day, it didn't take but so much. They didn't probably hardly break that much of a sweat. The early initial, even though they only had 2 members left alive, Rise come away with 2 hills, but PK died so early, they were able to get their respawns off round before Rise could really set up and allow for them to play the defense that they're used to be playing. I said that there was going to be a lot of fights down low. Rushies is already down to 2 respawns in the second round. We've got to keep an eye on him because you know that he's going to be playing that point man. He's that front spawn for Rise, so he's going to be going into these fights, having to be a little bit more careful, especially in this second round, unless Rise is willing to chalk it up and get another life on the board.
We're going to have to see if that's going to be the case. Obviously, PK came out the gate swinging. Identitas once again, just like he did in the initial of the last round, trying to push back side of Rise. And looks like he was doing a great job, but good utility. And Rushy's now spots an opening, goes in, hits one, takes him down, gets the second. Now Icy will follow up to hit. I believe that's Raver off in the corner. And this could be a big opportunity for themselves as, it is going to be Rushy still fighting it off. My goodness, the 1-2 punch finally comes in. That's Crack who falls down. So a much better start for the boys on Rise. They're going to try and secure Bravo, but Knights are up top for Monkeys.
Even though Monkeys sacrifices himself right there, they get the kill onto Rushies. Rushies now, if he decides to come back, will be on 1 respawn. He's going to be low on lives. Icy's down there as well with only 2. This is a map that they have to be careful on. There's a lot of fights early. PK still has the 2-1 hill advantage. They still have the point lead by about 40. You are going to have to force the issue if you want to come back in this, but it looks like Rise is going to start chalking this up. As you can see, Rushman still on 0%. Unless they're going to talk about this, basically, I believe Franchise has probably said something along the lines of, all right, if one of us turns water into wine and we get a triple kill, go ahead and save your life.
I think
no está saliendo Rushy si tiene 2 videos. Yo digo que sí debería haber salido.
And Rushies definitely have to keep an eye on him.
Si no hubiera salido la primera ronda.
Avexis tries to hit 1 onto PK, not able to do it. Icy throws his hat in the ring. He gets shut down, and I think they're going to go and chalk it up. I got to say, Colin, Pittsburgh Knights looking impressive. They're slaying out, and they're working together so well.
No matter what Rise throws at them, it doesn't matter,
and the disco party's already starting. It's fair to say Pittsburgh Knights, they're feeling confident.
They knocked about 40 seconds off of that first round into the second round. Yeah, it goes to the elimination domination, especially on the back of Rushies not coming back. Again, That's something, those are the little things that teams have to take note of going into a major, especially playing against these top tier teams. You saw how Rushies only had 2 lives. You knew if he died the first time, once you kill Rushies, there's a very good chance that he might not be coming back at all. I can't hammer that point home enough. You have to take care. Rushies got that great triple kill in the very beginning. It looked like everything was going to go their way. The second Monkey said, I've got behind him. I'm going to Lancer him. I'll sacrifice myself. I know I'm on the wrong side of the tracks, but I'm going to go ahead and die for this. Let's knock Rushies out of the round and take our control.
Off to the races we go once again. You know, Rushies trying to push up. Unfortunately, a bit of a miss instant. Raver now, he'll go ahead and take that 4th position. Gets absolutely ran through by Rushies. Identis, though, with the trade. And it's going to be another one of Rushies against Identis. Franchise also goes through. He picks up one. And now you're going to see another player. And that's going to be Crack, who gets ran through by Franchise. And a much more solid start. And Summons will drop. And this is the rise that we're used to seeing. A fantastic opportunity for them as they do win the initial. Let's see if they keep that pressure up, because Pittsburgh Knights, they're coming forward.
Inzem is playing a little bit defensive here. He gets all the way back to his side of the map. They got the 2-to-1 hill set up. He's going to have to call out that Raver might press up. Raver will be on that top bridge along with Crack. They're going to already push through onto Rise's side. And now Inzem's going to be closed out. He's going to be pinched here in about 2 seconds. Here comes the fight. Inzem had to pick one. He picked Raver and went down. So now we're going to go to the next fight at the A hill, which I believe is going to be a bit of a respawn battle. But the B hill's already gone in favor of PK. They're going to be threatening the triple cap domination here in the next few seconds.
Well, yeah, looks like it's going to be the case. Will anybody be able to get a touch? You see Inzem just running as fast as he can, but the meat shield and the punch in the face says absolutely no. And my goodness, Pittsburgh Knights up 3-0. This was their map pick, and obviously for good reason. There's nothing that Rise can do to shut them down at this point.
And it's almost like losing the initial doesn't bother Pittsburgh at all right now. And one of the things that they know is when they come off respawn, they're going to have those utilities back. They're going to be able to bring those back spawns into the fight, use those flash to kill members of Rise off. And with how quick Pittsburgh is at playing this map, it's easily noted that they are getting across the map. You saw Raver and Crack up top. They got across the 50-yard line. They got all the way onto Rise's side of the map, probably before Inzem even had a chance to set back up and really get some good shots on him.
Estamos tranquilos, todos tienen 4 vidas, güey, menos humans, y todo está bien, papito.
Raver now playing
Están igual de vida, güey.
with the PK boys. You notice
papitos, para los que quieren ver las vidas, acuérdense, papito. Dicen las vidas, apréndanselas, papitos.
Who was getting
Lo que
those
está pasando en las vidas.
getting those early pushes. They're taking a step back. They're going to allow Rise to kind of push up. I think they know that they're in a good position. Franchise, unfortunately, will fall. So will Identis, and that's a big opportunity for Rushies, right? Given the fact that he's able to come through, clean up 2 players. If he doesn't come in and get that down to Identis, Rise potentially loses 2 players that are on all 4s. So that was a huge pickup, a huge knock. And now, once again, Bravo still neutralized. Nobody able to get their hands on it. Rushies going to be the first one.
It's a good job by Rushies. He doesn't get caught up in trying to get that kill. He allows Fran to come off of the spawn, pick it up, because right behind him was a member of Pittsburgh waiting for him to possibly take his eyes off the fight, which is Crack. So that was a great job by Rushies to know that he had a teammate coming behind him and to know Crack was going to be able to try to pinch him if he took that fight. But look at this, 3 members of Pittsburgh coming through the blue hallway, going down the aquarium, trying to take their chance at pushing up on Avexis. There's the flash. Avexis answers with one of his own. And now they've got the Lancer cross. Here's the defense that we've been looking for out of Rise. This is the signs of life we need to see if we wanted to get a good matchup out of this.
Looks like they are, in fact, going to be continue pushing forward. Now, how much do they go forward? That is the question. Seems if they're satisfied with what they have. They've got a point lead. They're in control of the objective. Now they're going to allow Pittsburgh Knights to push forward and take the fight to them. Raver, though, looking to take action into his own hands, and a good couple of pickups. Inzem, Rushies, they get taken down, and then opens the door for him to get on Charlie, but Avexis is there waiting on him.
Raver flashing out of the home hill of Rise, and now he's going to push back against the tide, and you see Rise coming out of spawn. They got one more member to worry about here, and he's going to get walked through. That's terrible. Crack's going to get 2. Finally go down to Rushies. That's going to actually leave PK in a great position in this round, because even though it's a 40-point differential, they still have the B hill. They're going to be able to come off of respawn and get their home pretty easily, because that's a 2v1, and Rise is still fighting off of their respawn.
As they should be right at Pittsburgh Knights. It's where they excel. They love to push Rise back. They've been doing so consistently, whether it be off the initial, mid-game, or even late game. And now they're starting to really heat up. And you notice, too, that point lead that Rise had, it's pretty much gone. Pittsburgh Knights is really starting to close the gap. And It's off the back of that, just a couple of kills. It seems like there's some light for Rise, and then all of a sudden PK answers, and they answer back.
Muchas gracias por esa rica sub, papito. Papito Yapte. Wow, homie, muchas gracias. Muchas gracias por el apoyo, papito. Muchas gracias, Yapte. Muchas gracias, papito.
They're just feeling confident. They're feeling themselves. They're in the group. Sometimes if you look good and you feel good, you're gonna play good. And that's definitely what Pittsburgh has done tonight. You see, like you said, there's no respawns left, and look at this. They're set up on top. Summons is going to Lancer, Franchise, and Icy. They're not going to give up any inches. They're going to make them fight down a hallway. Lancer's out. Franchise still a little red. Summons in a 1v1. Icy might go for the pinch, but he has a 1v1 of his own to worry about. You can't forget about Crack. That shuts that push down by Rise. And the B hill is going to get decapped momentarily, but it's not going to make a difference as nobody was at the home. And PK is at a 4-0 lead in Exhibit. So all of the life that I thought Rise had coming into this, the confidence they had playing in these 1Vs against PK on Exhibit, being down low, this is just a reminder. I think this is just a team like Pittsburgh answering the bell, answering the door, answering whatever analogy you'd like to use, and saying, guys, if you don't ban Exhibit, we will make you pay for it. I swear for God.
Yeah, and we're seeing the effects of that. We're absolutely seeing the effects of that. I got to say, once again, Pittsburgh Knights have been playing out of their mind tonight, and I thought it was impressive when Rise played against UYU. Now, granted, this is only one map. We have seen so many Game 3s tonight, so there's 100% opportunity in map number 2. Rise answers back, right? And we force a Game 3.
Ya se resetearon las vidas, acuérdense todos.
Exhibit, without question, Pittsburgh Knights has Rise number. The only benefit now, the fact that, with it being 4-0, if there's any benefit at all, is the fact that now respawns are back, 4-4. It's even, right? It's basically like just the second half. So with that being said, Rise has a couple more lives to play around with. Let's see if they utilize them correctly. But you notice both teams, they're being a little bit more passive here.
Well, there's a lot more utility on the map. There's those extra grenades you can use coming out of spawn. So you got to be careful. The Insins are out there. Nobody can really go into that E hill and feel like they've got it safely. Monkeys is going to win that 1v1. Now he's going to apply pressure to the other side of the hill. And Rise has to bring members back to their spawn. And look at the shot punch. Get the second kill. Somebody stop him.
Luego se gastó la Insin como un dios.
I think the ball's rolling at this point. Monkeys, unfortunately, taking himself out. Raver, though, taking a Vexies. Rushies will also fall himself. Now it's only Insim and Icy who's up. Icy tries to fight. Valiant effort, not going to work. Insim now is fighting for his life, trying to get this touch, trying to get this break. He gets shut down. Franchise off the respawn. He gets shut down with the Bolt Hawk up close. And just like that, Colin, I can't believe it. It's going to be 5-0. I know Vexies just got a touch, but is a break going to happen? Wait, hold on a second now. Break might happen. No, shut down. Crack picks up a beautiful one. Now Icy's forced to go up. He runs away. Crack goes in head first. He's going to take it. Believe it or not, Rise is still in this. But, I mean, seriously, it took a lot for them to even have a toe in this match.
I mean, that had looked like a pool on a midsummer hot day. You kept testing your waters with the toe in, toe out, toe in, toe out. And Raver's going to be waiting. He's going to pick one of them off behind. And they get the down, but Emergence gets traded out, ladies and gentlemen. That's a huge tide turner. Even if Rise comes back in this, the extra man that they've lost in that fight, now Pittsburgh can actually choose whether or not they want to keep respawning. The lives have been invested by Rise, so the respawn economy is going to be in Pittsburgh's favor. They can choose what they want to do here because they know that they can literally give up 4 out of the next 5 rounds as long as they continue to get these kills.
Good play for the man of Crack, using that meat shield to his advantage. Franchise trying to take him out, was unsuccessful in doing so. We see the dances coming through the emotes. I think PK knows the writing's on the wall. There's no way Rise is going to be able to take this. Vexies a little bit of a revenge kill, but at this point in time, Rise has to literally perform some huge miracle plays if they want to turn this round in their favor. They have to do it within 15 seconds.
You're going to have to fly now. They have to get all the way to the home hill of PK, but you see Pittsburgh is backing up. They're going for the defensive setup. They've got one member across that Summons with the Lancer, but he's going to back out. He's going to get the call, hey, look, man, we need you back here just in case we do die. There's only about 8 to 9 more seconds because of how far they are away from the hill to actually get there and get inside. They need 1 or 2 more kills. That'll do them well, but Franchise has to rely on Icy to get a clutch, and it won't come. Here it is, a 5-0 to start our grand finals, and Pittsburgh Knights are picking up right where they left off, completely in fuego.
Completely in fuego. Did not expect you to say that, but you dropped that in nice and smooth, Colin. Great round for the men of Pittsburgh Knights. My goodness, it just seriously, Rise couldn't get anything started. And is there any glaring issues that stand out to you of why Rise, I mean, they got beat so hard?
Solo play. Rise's specialty throughout every time they take a lead in these rounds is the fact that Rise can go into them and play defense, play for each other. You see a lot of Lancer, you see a lot of people playing with one another, almost like a buddy system. Right? There's 5 guys, so there's usually an odd man out that usually ends up being somebody like an Emergence, somebody like an Emergence, where they can kind of rotate from one side of the map to the other. They play almost a swing defense. If you think about basketball, it's kind of like a box and one. They got 4 guys defending the lane with 1 guy. That's what Emergence and Emergence do a lot for this team. They switch whichever side of the map is getting pushed, but right now, Rise is basically playing like man up. They want to take one guy at a time, try to win these Nasher fights. That's not their style. It's not what got them there. They came to the dance on the back of defense, on the back of Lancer, and now they're here and they said, I don't really like my dance partner. Let me try something else. And that's not the music you've been grooving to, baby.
¿Qué con la play de mono ahí en su home?
Request a good song from a DJ and say, let's get back on the dance floor and do our thing.
And you know what? We've been seeing the dance floor lighting up. I've seen so many disco parties, so many, and even discos being used as an emote, right? Remember, go back to Asylum in round 1 when we were casting, and that one player, I think it was Pittsburgh Knights, right, that ended up using that emote themselves. Or maybe it was Fire and Ice, but with that being said, it's been a great night, and this 5-0 is genuinely shocking. It really is. I mean, like I said, Rise was kind of weighing the odds of which one's more impressive. Pittsburgh Knights beating FNI, was it BYU, you know, obviously being defeated by Rise. Well, in this case, it seems the more impressive one was FNI falling as dominantly as they did. Pittsburgh Knights on top, looking good, and a 5-0 victory is nothing to scoff at. But with that being said, though, we now move into District, and we know how strong Rise is on District themselves. So I think this could still go to a game 3. If I'm going to give the edge to any team, honestly, I'm giving it to Rise on District.
And look, Rise is historically one of the best District teams on the planet, but we have seen what Pittsburgh is capable of tonight on a map like Rise, where Pittsburgh has come out and applied a lot of pressure across the middle lane, where they've come straight out of info, going straight at Juice. I think one of the things that they got to keep in mind, and I know Fran has probably watched that already. He was probably sitting in here watching that back while they were on a break, while they were sitting around. I know he's tried to watch those maps for Pittsburgh on District. He's going to know that they're coming across that middle lane quickly, and they've got to have a strat they got to have a strat ready for it. They got to have a strat together to try to counter that and take that off of the board for Rise, because I think, or take that off the board for Pittsburgh, because if you let Pittsburgh get across that 50 that quickly, we saw it against Vanquish. It was a 46-second round, a 38-second round, a 44-second round. It was one of those things where they applied so much pressure so quickly that they had no chance to counteract it. Now, Rise, again, just live the initial wave. And I know they won a lot of initials. They got the 2 hills to 1 on exhibit, but that wasn't living the wave that they needed to live. It was that secondary wave where it was like, all right, you killed us off spawn. Congratulations. I'll give you a round of applause. See if you got something for this.
Yeah, absolutely. And those initials, you know, they do matter to a certain degree, but if you're not winning your mid-late game, you're going to fall short. Pittsburgh Knights did a fantastic job at that, which honestly surprises me, because as I mentioned, especially when I was casting with Fatal Strike, I was really complimenting the fact that reciprocity with those core 3, they were really good, especially as the game, you know, the map just extended on and on and on. That's when reciprocity really started to heat up. And then much to say, whenever it comes to Rise, it takes them a little bit to warm up, but once they do, they're ready to go. With that being said, District, I think, is going to turn their luck around. I really genuinely do think that they are going to take this, and we're going to game 3. I would love to watch Asylum played between these 2 teams, specifically for the fact I want to see if Emergence can continue to do what he did against the side of UIU. He was pulling off some nasty, fantastic, impressive flanks against the side of UIU. He was absolutely taking the fight to them. I want to see much the same, especially going into District. One of the players obviously we'll watch out for is going to be Rushies. But one curveball that Rise has been throwing at teams, and they did it against UIU, is throwing that drop shot out very early on. They love getting in those initial fights, and I think that's going to benefit them greatly, especially if they pull that wild card on District.
Well, you can't do it too early, because, again, you're going to see Pittsburgh probably go spawn, flashbang, spawn, flashbang. They're going to immediately probably give utilities to both of their other spawn players. So if you give up the utilities that early to a guy like Identives, who has been playing a lot of front spawn for the side of Pittsburgh on District, he can get in there. He can have that extra utility to kind of flash you out, stun you out, and take that drop shot out of your hands. So you'll probably see it go to at least round 3 before you have a sniff at that drop shot. But again, Rushies has probably been the best player in history at those quick picks. He was great at it in Gears 4. He's been great at it all Gears 5. Whatever you've put down and you needed him to get to first, especially that baited flashbang. He's really good at the bandstand where he can bait you throwing your flash just a hair earlier, drops his on the ground, so you're stunned just a little bit longer. As he comes out, you're still at the very end of it. So I think that's something we got to keep an eye on. It's going to be right around round 3, maybe 4 that you see the drop if necessary. Yep. And Rise is going to try to sit back and choke out the members of Pittsburgh Knights because they're going to have to sit back and play some defense. You got to stop them from having all the momentum.
It's going to be a fantastic map to watch. We know how strong both teams are. Again, I give my edge to Rise in this regards, but I don't know. Pittsburgh Knights played that exhibit so incredibly well, a 5-0 victory, and they have to be feeling extremely good, especially, let's not discredit the fact that they finished off #1 in the LatAm Pro League. That is now over with, and they are that #1 team. All the confidence for them, and I do want to watch out there. I'm glad we're actually focusing him because he played the early initial aggressor so many times on that exhibit map, and he was doing it so well. But a lot of bait and switches taking place, and Identitas finds an opportunity, pushes it onto Avexis, gets shot, but able to get the knock. And look at that, a couple players on Rise already down and out. They're going to be out now. Franchise ends up the last 2 up as Rushies will fall, and Franchise, he's going to be in the mid. He's going to be in a fight himself, and a must-win. He doesn't, or excuse me, ends up comes through to help out with Identitas, but it might not matter. Can he get a touch? He gets ran through. Franchise manages to do it, but it doesn't matter. Pittsburgh Knights takes round #1 in 54 seconds.
4 más, papitos, 4 más. Easy.
Man, I hate being right. Do you remember when I said they shouldn't go across the middle of the map, let them come across into the info? Oh, they let them do that. And then you remember when I said that they can't allow the pressure in the middle of the map to take focus because they're going to get triple K? Oh, okay. And then there you go. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much. There's the flashbangs immediately out for Pittsburgh. Here comes the flashes out immediately for Rise. You got a couple more rounds to go before you'll see that drop shot. Right now, they just got to worry about stopping them from getting across the 50-yard line.
Cracuqueo, papitos, cracuqueo for the bread.
Seems like they're getting across the 50-yard line. I mean, pretty well, without question. They've been doing their wind sprints. Either way, Identitas now again off that break. He's actually going down low. Last time he challenged the middle portion of the map. Now he's switching it up. I like that, keeping it fresh. But unfortunately, Identitas summons will fall. Enzim, it's like Christmas all again. He's going to get through, take down 2 players. Fantastic Lancer work overall. And now Rise, they're easily going to take over Bravo for themselves. Crack also falls. A much better start, fair to say, for the boys on Rise.
And Rise now has the 2-to-1 hill set up. You see PK is going to push over here. They're going to get at least 1 revive. They've got the member in juice lancering down. So if PK decides to step back, they're going to get shot in the back. If they push forward, they're going to get shot in the face. There's nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. This is the Rise you need to see if you're a fan of the style or these guys on the team.
Pero,
I know you're going to be hyping them up in the chat if you want to see Rise bring this to a map #3. They've got the 2-to-1 hill set up. They got plenty of members alive across the map, and now they just have to get the call-outs.
Riquito,
they got to
eso
figure
nos
out where
mama,
the
que
push
estén
is
en la
coming
pálida.
from, because here comes the last 2 members of Pittsburgh Knights. They're going to get the call-out that they're either going low or high. They're not going to go across mid again because there's too many angles once everybody's settled in to actually Lancer out.
Low seems to be the way to go about it. Having a fight over in bandstand. Summons will drop. Raver gets a pick up from the flank. That was going to be Franchise, and no.
Raver le dio un reaction
by Raver, picks up 2 players from Rise, and now that opens the door wide open, especially now that Rushies falls for that overextension. Enzim, Avexis,
pueden hacer, güey, cuando Raver está dando reacción 360, güey?
Place on the B as well. Enzim drops, Crack gets it, and now Pittsburgh Knights going for the triple.
¿Qué pueden hacer, papito? Es el trueno, pai.
Overzealous. Franchise runs in on 2 members of Pittsburgh Knights. 1 getting a revive. Normally, you think that's going to be an initial chunk.
Trueno,
in that situation, you step back.
Es que le digo, güey, los de Rise sacaron 2 kills y no hicieron nada, güey. Y cuando ya un equipo está así, ya.
Somebody else to rotate into the area. I know the chunk range is a little inconsistent.
Papito, sabes, Anthony, homie, muchas gracias por esa rica sub, papito. Le das más hype a esto, güey.
I didn't even get to see how many pellets he hit on the spread. I didn't even know how hard he hit that shot but he put himself in a bad position. He's on the wrong side of the map.
Ese PK es el que conozco, papito. Ese es el PK, papito, el fuerte.
PK right in his face.
Venga,
He
papitos.
just needs to roll back and use his Lancer, apply damage and pressure that way to allow other members to push in and try to help him out.
See if this is going to be a much different effect. Rise, I don't know what. I mean, seriously, they've been struggling, and they need to win a round. At this point in time, they have lost 7 straight rounds to the boys of Pittsburgh Knights. Very uncharacteristic for the Rise boys. Identis, though, went mid once again. He did it in round 1. Didn't do it in round 2, but now back at it once again, able to assist with the Lancer fire. Monkeys goes in on Fred. Good utility, misses the first shot. Franchise, he's going to capitalize, picks up 1, but a good trade from Identives, and now he'll be able to pressure Avexis. A good, solid hit. Ends him now, or excuse me, Icy's also going to be pushing in, but now Identives crack, trying to keep them at bay. But you notice Pittsburgh Knights, they got what they wanted. They got the overextension.
They got home to home, and they've got 2 members down here in the bottom of the map. We are only in round 2, so the respawn's still decently long. So Pittsburgh's going to be able to mount up a decent point lead. You see them setting up 4 members just outside of the home hill rise. The push might have to go through the top. They might have to try to sneak members around, but they're going to go straight at them. They're going to go at the tip of the spear.
Oh, qué rico.
The fight with the spear down, all it ran into was an immovable object, and they blunted that spear pretty quickly. Pittsburgh Knights doing an amazing job with the shield up.
¿Puede meter presión? Sí se muere. Buena. Es lo que les digo, güey. Esa es la diferencia, güey. ¿Ya vieron cómo mete presión? Aunque se muera, creo que estuvo perfecto esa presión, güey. Es la diferencia, güey. ¿Vieron cuando Uyu se pasó lo mismo, güey? Pasó lo mismo de que Kenny y Frey estaban ahí. Y había un güey ahí y no le metieron presión. Esa es la diferencia, güey. Jugar con huevos, güey, en ese puto juego. Lo que les falta a los gringos, güey.
Gave up the 2-to-1 hill cap. It's only about 30 seconds where they come back. There's the Lancer fire I was talking about. Finally, Rise remembers that they got an assault rifle on the other side of that D-pad, and they just got to switch back to it. Look at that. There's Rushies. He's just looking down sights right now. He's waiting to see any kind of movement. They're going to get these call-outs on Identives. Once again, here it comes.
Ese es el segundo mapa, papito. El primero lo ganaron 5-0 en Exhibit, papito. 5 Zapatero.
You cannot take these as Dasher fights.
Flashbang out. See if let's see if they're listening right as Identives now down low along with his teammates. Monkey's doing a great job dancing out. Most likely going to do a bait and switch to maybe dance it out onto Charlie, lock it in if they potentially can. Rise doing a good job holding him at bay. There's only about a 3-point lead for the boys on PK. Opportunity persists. Utilities thrown. But the end effect is PK locking down Charlie. They've got a 2-hill, and they're set up a Rise once again, taking control. They take it right back, and the control now back into Rise's head. And on top of that, they're also going for A.
Going for the domination right here. The only member alive in the area is Monkeys. Here comes Crack off of Respawn. He's going to get the touch. That could buy some time for PK to come off of Respawn, but it looks like they're going to chalk this one up. They're going to take a 2-1 lead going into the last round of the half. That was the actual defense that I've been talking about, that I've been looking for out of Rise. You saw all that Lancer damage from the windows of that info down into the bottom as PK tried to push from bandstand to from one side of the bandstand to the other. So
se está viendo amarillo otra vez, ¿verdad?
Now you've got all the utilities on the map. There is a shot for you to see that drop come out somewhere. They're talking about it right now, but they're going to probably set up for another utility grenade and then drop it.
I'm just happy to bleeding stops. I'm really happy that Rise was finally able to secure a round.
¿Qué pedo que ya siempre nos sabemos esta ahorita, papito?
In a row. So now this is their opportunity to start coming back. It's usually the hardest round to win is the first one, right?
Ahorita les enseño las videos, papitos, acuérdense. Aquí andamos para todo.
Most likely getting that drop shot. No, not going to be the case. Raver teasing us way too much. I don't appreciate that. But we're just going to continue to build the utilities up or matched on both sides.
Ahí las pueden ver también, güey. Es la última ronda y todos tienen un chingo de vida.
With overall 6 kills. And then I know on the other team for PK, one was sitting at 0 kills but 6 assists, so he's definitely putting in that Lancer work. Up to the races we go. Let's see how this mid fight happens.
A lot of Lancer fire out. PK's not going to push across just yet. They've taken the middle cover. Rise looked like they were ready for it. They have 3 members stacked up in the juice early on, so they're going to have control over their home side of the map, but Inzem has to be careful not to get Lancer down. He tried to get a little overzealous right there. Maybe push in. They've got one down. They can clean up Identives. This could give them the advantage they need to push a PK back across the map, which they already have.
Es la última ronda, güey. Tiene un chingo de tiempo para todo.
Now Pittsburgh has to be careful not to get Lancer out. That's going to be Raver in the middle of the map. They got the bandstand positioning to get the Lancer down on him. That's amazing job by Rise. That's another death. That's staggering the deaths of Pittsburgh. They're not going to be able to set up, but so great right now.
Rise doing a great job applying that pressure on to see. Monkey sees him. He's going to do everything he can to try and keep them at bay. Rise threatening the triple cap. They can end this round very early, and what an impressive victory that would be. We know on the last round of the first half, it's the fastest respawns, and they're looking like they're going to do it. Summons, will he be able to get a touch? No, he will not. And Rise answers right back in 1 minute and 6 seconds to tie it up 2-2 going into the second half.
Linchpin of that fight again, something we didn't see Vanquish do earlier tonight that we have seen Rise do now twice in this matchup. They left members inside the Juice or inside their building, whether it be Info or Juice, shoot down to the bandstand side of the map. Whether they were defending the hotel or the arcade, it's a completely symmetrical map. You're able to get that Lancer lane out of the window, down to that cover, and get a lot of damage on. That's how they got Identives down in the last 2 rounds. Got the kill on him early. Rise chooses to go with even more utilities. They've got 4 extra flashes on the map now to use, and the drop shot goes down at the cinema rather than bandstand. This could get interesting. I might even get to see a possible, because of the long respawns, you might see somebody go for a Mr. Krabs play where they don't invest everything in this fight, but it looks like everybody's going into it. This is a big boy fight.
And that's where I wanted to see Rushies really shine. We know how good he can be, and let's not discredit Icy as well. He's going to be onto the back of Identives. He will get collapsed on, and it's fair to say that Rise does get out. Rushies looking to get away with this life, but Summon's doing a great job. Crack actually gets him down, and I don't believe the drop shot was backpacked. Trade will take place. Crack able to go down to Vexis. Will in fact pick up that elimination. Nobody with any heals at the beginning. So much committed in Pittsburgh Knights. Inzim last alive.
It's going to be up to Inzim to maybe push this 1v. No, he doesn't have to push it yet. Nobody's at the home hill. He's got plenty of time. I don't know if they have the call out yet, but without that countdown timer coming through, they know that they can take these fights a little bit slower. Maybe try to dwindle the numbers of Pittsburgh at their home down. There's a 1v1 for the home. It's going to be lost by Rise, so Pittsburgh will come away with the round off the backs of a really good shot by Crack to get Rushies down around the corner. The drop shot was, in fact, backpacked. He got that Nasher out, tried to get out with it in his life, but he could not do it. One final shot out of Crack actually hit enough spread to get him down around the corner.
Jeez, man, at this point in time, it's looking scary. Pittsburgh Knights, they are slaying out. That initial was fantastic. It started with, actually, Rushies did a really good job. I got to give him credit. It's just the rest of his team, unfortunately, just wasn't backing him up. Pittsburgh Knights doing a great job. And we're going to see that fight take place basically until the end of this round is done, right? So with that being said, I'm very curious how round 2 is going to go. Raver doing a great job. Fantastic game. 10-3, only 5 deaths. I mean, overall, a 2-0 KD. And that's what we expect from a man such as Raver. He's going to be also on that initial 2. Going from the mid, though, jumps over to take a different line of attack.
I'm curious to see where the shock's going to go. The shock blocked off the exit for Rise, so multiple downs come through. Icy's kind of stuck out in the middle. Identives can kind of shoot fish in a barrel right here. He's at the gallery. He's just looking down the alleyway, trying to find somebody to step out. But the actual cross from over the cover comes through, and Rise might be able to get away with this drop shot this round.
I think he might be able to. Let's see it as he does, in fact, get away. Monkey's now in a bad position, fighting between 2 players, trying to utilize spacing as much as he can, unable to do so. Now, Raver, last alive Summons will be coming up off of that respawn, but this is what Rise needed. They need to tie this up 3-3. They're looking to end it right here, right now. We have seen so many quick rounds. Identis gets a break onto F, and for the time being, it looks like PK is going to stay alive for a little bit longer.
Vexy's with that's Rushies with the drop. Great double kill by him. Staying in the area. They're going to be able to apply more pressure to the home hill. That should wrap things up with a nice bow. Call it Christmas. And Rushies with a little disco dance, but I don't know if anybody's singing quite yet because it's a tie ball game. It's a best of 3 rounds. So you might want to just hold that dance off until you can hear him call for last one.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I think it's been a bit premature with a lot of this dancing, right? I mean, overall, it's great to do it, get in your opponent's head, have fun with it. But at the end of the day, we have seen some dance parties.
Venga, papitos, denme las pinches G, denme los cracuqueos y denme los PK, papitos. Venga, la puta madre.
Losing the round. At the end of the day, though, Shocks, they're going to be halved down. They're going to be utilized a lot more. And we're off to the races again. I'm curious who's going to be the first one to get at 4. If Pittsburgh Knights wins this round, there'll be a match point, series point.
Curious to see what they're going to place out here. You see 60-second shocks for both teams. I'm going to see if they use that shock again to block off the exit for Rise. There's more flashes out. Inzim is literally flown across the map. He skated all the way across the back of the cinema. All it did was look good. All it did.
Hey man, sometimes you gotta look good, you gotta style on, but at the end of the day, if you lose the round, was it worth it? I don't think so. 26 seconds. I want to point out, by the way, the fastest round I've ever seen, I think it was during Challenger Series, and I think it was like 22 seconds. So we're getting close. We're talking about 2 of the best teams in the world, and a 26-second round, Pittsburgh Knights. I mean, they are really on fire.
Pittsburgh Knights had a great answer. They allowed the flashbangs to fly in, and they stayed back this time. Rather than pushing into the fight and allowing that over the cover, that hop over fight to be able to cross them out, they actually went in.
Nada más, papitos.
I like that right there. They're on match point right now. They're on match and series point, as a matter of fact. Disable out from Rise. So that's going to be answered back in kind. This time, Rise has to be very careful not to get baited into that fight. They cannot find themselves on the opposite side of Cinema and get taken down like Enzem did right there. They have to be smarter than that. They have to play for the down and distance game.
Oh. All right, could be the final initial of the tournament. Raver, though, on into Enzem. Answer back, though. Raver summons will fall. Icy, though, from the back is going to get yet another one. Identity is also going to be backing up himself. Rise, 5 down, and another quick round. Raver will be coming up the respawn and summons as well. But Rise, that's a solid start. Look at player number 7. He's also floating. He's going to be going back down to E. So Rise walk away with the drop shot, and they also walk away with the 2-hill control.
I'll be curious to see how long Rise decides to stay around here. They know that they're going to be threatening the triple cap right now. 2 members of PK are going to the E-Hill. Rushies has that drop, going for a long-range one. It's in, and it finds nothing, not even some damage. He leaves Enzem helpless in this fight. Good up A by Enzem. He gets one after the melee. He's not going to be able to get that second shot. The triple cap's being dominated just for a moment, but Raver has almost reset it, and he does with that decap. Summon's now going to try his hand, but he's shut down by Rushies, and now the fight breaks back out at Pittsburgh's home.
Ooh. The franchise
ah,
also
la
gets
verga,
the
está bien
one.
pinche intenso. Papitos, una más.
And we're going to round 9. We're going to round 9, and we have seen so many quick rounds, and it's so weird to me, the fact that Pittsburgh Knights wins a 26-second round, and Rise is like, all right, hey, enough playing around, comes through and wins a round in 1 minute and 11. I know times isn't everything, but the fact is both teams have an answer, it seems, at all times. The Disables made a difference there, clearly, at least for the Rise boys. Now the Disables no longer there, and it's going to be mono a mono, person against person, and you know what, Shock's still in play, right? They have been halved out. We have the drop shot still in play, and now we're going to have the flash down low. But either way, that initial is going to be the story, and the story is going to unfold based upon how well each team does off this initial.
I'll be curious to see what Rise does right here. There's a little trick strat in the back pocket, I believe, of Rise Nation. Just waiting to be pulled out at the right time. I don't think we're going to see it. No, we might see it. You see how many members of Rise are splitting around the map? They're actually rotating around the map. This could be that little trick I was talking about. You see how 4 members of PK are invested into this fight. Rush is the only person really there. The shock is used to just stop the pickup of the drop. They don't actually use the shock to try to drop anybody right now. It's just going to stop the quick pick for the drop. They've got multiple members of PK trapped like rats back here. They are completely surrounded by members of Rise, and they are just going to be shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah, they absolutely are. Summons Monkeys last up. Summons gets dropped. Monkeys now on the back pedal. He's got to maintain his life. He has to
la play por mono, güey. Uno se fue por ahí,
but you
papitos.
mentioned that strategy, and that was such a beautiful call in your part, Colin, because it made all the difference in the world. By splitting up, they were in a 2v1, especially for that mid fight. They also, really, PK didn't even push in like they normally do because the shock, but more importantly, I think that really, they were like, what is going on here? We got to deviate. We got to back up. Either way, Rise absolutely got the best of PK off that initial, but you notice, though, PK answers right back with D&E.
PK tried to rush. They tried to rush in and kill Rushies all the way in the spawn. They tried to invest another life. There's a drop shot that's going to get a kill. They have Icy's down, but they're not going to be able to revive him. PK is going through the info. They're going to try to continue to apply pressure to Rushies and make him use those drops, which he has now. So he no longer has the rockets in his pockets to make sure he gets the insta-give. They're going to go these decaps. They're set up around the map. They have to worry about Identity, which is going to be coming behind. Oh, he does have one more. I thought he wasted. I thought he had the other one already shot, but he still got one. They're going to have the 2-to-1 hill advantage, and they got to hold on to this for quite some time.
Quite some time. Rushies, though, does he use that drop to at least get one more pick? He does not. He backs up, gets away safely. Monkeys takes out Icy. And now it's all up. Can PK bait this out? They do so successfully. So drop shot is out of play until the next one comes up. Rushies might be pressured on, but look at this. Pittsburgh Knights doing a bit of pressure themselves. They're going in for the trip cap, and they just about got it, Colin.
They almost got it. They were a half a second away, a heartbeat. There's the shot punch out. Rise is still in this right now. Summons is alive at the E-Hill. He's got to take a fight here against Rushies. He's going to hit him with a beautiful up A. He went for the shot punch, and then a one-hit quitter on Enzem is going to shut this thing down. And Pittsburgh is playing on a different level as they win round 9, 5-4, and get a 2-0 victory over Rise.
My goodness, Pittsburgh Knights, it's been some time, right? It's been at least 5 weeks since they were able to get a victory, but now they are back on top. This is their
Venga, la puta madre, venga. Papito, son una verga, papitos. Son una verga, papito. Soy en stream, papito. Ahorita se habla de eso, papito. Solamente festejo. Venga, venga la puta madre.
Así,
Papito, son una verga, papitos. Unas palabras para la gente que los ama.
Nada, papitos, que vamos a dejar el mejor papel en el evento y vamos a ganarlo, puta madre.
Venga, papito.
Aquí dejarlo ganar todo antes del evento, de huevos.
Qué rico,
Hay que llegar en vistas de huevos.
Qué rico, güey. Qué rico, compa, que tenían drops de ellos, güey. La jugaron perfecto, güey.
Güey, te lo juro, Rushi se cagó bien culé, güey. Brinca mal, se traga mi bala y después brinca otra vez hacia atrás y hace que literal con eso me esquivó la bala, güey.
Son una verga,
Al pobre
Son una verga, güey.
Mierda.
Qué riquito, papitos.
Pittsburgh Knights is playing on a different level. They're putting people